Um, Talk to us about, growing up being a dual sport athlete, right? Like you were a baseball guy, right? Like I didn't know that. Um, Obviously I've seen you play nothing but football, but for me, I was a baseball guy too. That was my true love. I mean, I hated football, to be honest. I wasn't big enough. I wasn't fast enough. I wasn't strong enough, but I was a pitcher. I could throw some heat. I could play center field. I could bat. So I wanted to be a baseball guy, and I kind of grew out of that. But talk to us about kind of your baseball career and coming up as a young athlete and going through high school, and how you decided to, kind of put the bat down and play quarterback in Morgantown.
Well, started both baseball and football at the age of 4, and fell in love with them both. Um, was fortunate enough to have some great teams, great teammates, good coaching in both sports, and had a lot of success early on, winning championships in both football and baseball. So they both became part of who I was at that moment. Baseball was one that I excelled in. I guess because I was a lefty, like yourself. A little bit awkward coming out of the hand, so excelled at pitcher. I had a good stick, um, and I guess my football aggressiveness helped me a little bit on the baseball field.
Mm-hmm.
So played them both throughout high school. Won a state championship in both baseball and football in high school the same year, and essentially when it came down to the decision on whether I was going to be a professional baseball player or a college football player, um, I guess the financial aspect of it. I was 18. The contract that I was offered to go play Major League Baseball, my father and I didn't feel like it would suffice for an 18-year-old. Um, not being a great money manager at 18, having a few $100,000 in your pocket, it could go fast if you're not careful. Um, Now, if it would have been 7 figures, we'd be maybe not on this call right now. He probably wouldn't have
That's
any
right.
knowledge of who I am
But
as a
still, that's
football
hard to
player.
turn down, Pat.
Yeah.
I mean, even 6 figures. I mean, as an 18-year-old, that's hard to turn down.
Oh yeah. Um. So, and in football, I was small. I was lefty. I wasn't your typical quarterback, and I felt like I had something to prove. I lost a Mr. Football contest. I was second runner up for Mr. Football in the state of Alabama my senior year, but I won Mr. Baseball. So I guess I had a somewhat of a chip on my shoulder in terms of who I was as a football player, and felt like I had a lot to prove. So with that offer, it made it easy on me to go be a collegiate athlete and go prove that I could be a quarterback at the next level.
Now, speaking of playing quarterback, you were a multi-sport player, like you just said. How did that help you in your overall development as a college athlete, playing both baseball and football?
Well, to go back a few years before college, I wasn't always a quarterback. Um, Park ball, I was a running back. I played safety, even sometimes linebacker. Thought I was tough. But my baseball background, being a pitcher, um, once I got to middle school, I started practicing at quarterback. Um, but because I was an athlete, I would spend a lot of time practicing. But during game times, they would put me a receiver, put me a corner. Ninth grade, same thing happened. Spent a lot of time practicing QB, and maybe get like a third series or so. 10th grade, I became the backup quarterback, and I was starting at receiver. And um, funny story, I caught a full body cramp at practice one day playing receiver, and I decided I was going to do everything in my will to stop running all those routes and become a quarterback. And so
That's it. That's it.
my my junior year, I became a starter, and um, I guess the rest is history. But obviously, just the diversity in both sports, a lot of it translates. Using your hips, I think at the plate, it's sort of like throwing a ball. Obviously, a little bit different foot work, but the lower half is the same. So having that background and being able to throw a ball decently helped as well.